Matthew 26, let it 24. Verse 24. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. I am preaching on what I title, Thy will be done. Somebody shout, Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Walk to 29 people and tell them God's will be done in your life.
God's will be done in your life. God's will be done in your life. God's will be done in your life. God's will be done in your life. God's will be done in your life. God's will be done in your life.
Open your hand before you take your seat. If you are already seated, you are not part of this service. Open your hand before you take your seat. Open your hand before you take your seat. I came to agree with you that in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that in your life, no man's will, not your enemy's will, but only the will of God will be done in your life. I came in anger to pray for 2,000 listeners and viewers. The will of your parents, the will of your neighbor, the will of your enemies will not be done in your life. Only the will of God shall be done in your life. Only the will of God shall be done in your marriage. Only the will of God shall be done in your academic. Anything outside God's will, if you shout amen, I destroy it out of your life. Anything outside God's will, I destroy it out of your life. Somebody may say, Pastor, you said the will of my parents should not be done. Yes, not all parents with their children good will. In 2 Kings chapter 6, the Bible said two parents met each other. He said, let's kill our children and eat. So if the will of parents to be done, some of us, they will use you for suya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I talking to somebody here?
Yes, sir.
If it's the will of your neighbor you are looking for, you will have a problem. Genesis 27, they said to Isaac, leave us, you are becoming too stronger than us. There is a neighbor, Abimelech. So I don't want the will of my neighbor. Am I talking to somebody here? If it is the will of your fellow Christian, I don't want it. Because even in the kingdom of the apostleship and apostolic power, they were dragging position who to take care and who not to take care.
Yes, sir.
The only will that I want in my life about my marriage.
The will of the Lord.
There are even some parents who don't want your marriage to work.
I hear you, sir.
Yes. So the only thing I want, if you agree with me, open your hand. It is the will of God that will be done in your life. Take your seat. What is the will of God? Is the plan of God before you were born.
Yes, sir.
The will of God is the plan of God concerning you before you were born. Somebody shout, the plan of God,
Plan of God
for my life
for my life
before I was born.
before I was born.
Shout it again, the plan of God
Plan of God
for my life
for my life
before I was born.
before I was born.
Somebody say the will of God
The will of God
is the plan of God
the plan of God
for my life
for my life
before I was born.
before I was born.
For the last time I said the will of God
The will of God
is God's plan
God's plan
concerning for my life
for my life
before I was born.
before I was born.
Now listen now. The will of God is not a desire of a man. Sit down, everybody. The will of God is not a plan of a man. The will of God is a plan of God for your life before you were born. That simply means you were predestinated. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes, sir.
You were predestined for something. That's the will of God. The will of God simply means what God had in mind when he was sending you on earth. The will of God, that is why the Bible says when Jesus was teaching the disciples how to pray, he said, when you pray, say, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, Matthew 6:10, thy will be done on earth as it is. Meaning, it's not the earth that determines the heaven. It is the heaven before you were born. Let it be done on earth as it is. When you say something as it is, it means it has been existing. Already existing before you came. So, predestined. You understand what I'm trying to say now?
Yes,
so, the will of God is not that you were born before it was being decided upon. The will of God is this. Follow me now. The will of God is this. That thing that God had in mind that makes you not to come out from China and that makes you not to come out from the United States, and he brought out from Nigeria. That is something he had in mind. Why he did not give you white skin, he gave you black. There is something he had in mind. Why you did not come out from Benin, you came out from Urumi. There was something he had in mind. Why you did not come out from Azena family, you came out from Ugbebo family. There is something he had in mind. Why you did not die as a premature birth, there is something he had in mind. Measles had you, chickenpox had you, other children died. Why he preserved you, there is something he had in mind. You travel, people ever see that and they die. You travel, I came back. There is something he had in mind.
Yes,
when you were not a man, but you came out as a girl, there is something he had in mind. So anywhere you find yourself, it is the fulfillment of God's will. There is a plan before you were born, and whatsoever happened to you is driven you towards the actualization of that plan. Even though you seek now, it may be part of his will.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you, sir. No.
How many of us know part of maturity when it's coming that you must change your teeth?
Yes, sir.
Your teeth, the new one must remove, old one must come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Part of maturity. Talk to me now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No matter you love your parent, you love your child, will you say may the teeth not remove?
It must come out.
Eh?
It must come out.
Does it look good when they remove?
No.
But is it part of the maturity?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm trying to say. When you see your pikin at 6-7 years, he opens it like this, he be like masquerade.
Yes, sir.
You don't like it, but is it part of the will?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk to me, is it part of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, also check maturity. There are some brothers who grow beards. You know, can't like them. Some women know they like them. They say, I better go Barbara. Which kind of yes ought to be this one? Is it part of maturity or is not?
It's part, sir.
Can you stop it?
No.
Can you stop it?
No.
How many of us know that when some children want to talk, they have to seek first?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When they not recover, they will not gain height.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is our destiny. For God to actualize his will in your life, there are many processes. Some are good, some are not good. But they are part of the actualization of God's will.
I hear you, sir.
Okay. Now, establishing that fact, I will now proceed. Now, look at it. The will of God, the first thing I discover about will of God, that no matter how you pray, prayer cannot change it.
I hear you, sir.
Slap your neighbor. Let me hear it fine. That prayer cannot change God's will.
Prayer cannot change God's will.
Slap the person. Say prayer cannot change God's will. Jesus was given to the world. John chapter 3 from verse 16. For God so loved the world and gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but should have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son to the world to condemn the world. Verse 17. But through him that the world might be saved. So he was sent to this world to save.
The world.
What plan is that?
The will of God.
Is that the will of God?
Yes, sir.
Is that the will of God?
Yes, sir.
But when Jesus came, he was tempted not to die again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe he was thinking of getting married. I didn't know why. I didn't know what he was thinking. But he was tempted not to go back again. And he said, Lord, I don't want to die again. Okay. But what thing you can't do for you? Not to die. But now Jesus changed mind. You know, there are many of us now who you have changed the career of God upon your life. You have changed it too. You were created to be a singer. Since you sang the first album, now only you sing, now only you play. You change your mind. I decided to enter Alumako. There are many of us, the plan of God for your life, for you to be a stylist. For example, that is the way God's way. But you have left it to, since you started at the shop closed, you don't want to go into it again. As I'm talking now, you buy things from the village market to go and sell. You have left it. Jesus, my plan for you is to die. But Jesus said, Father, let this death pass over me. I have changed my mind. If you follow my mind, I no one die again. But he remember, Bible says he prayed. That sweat that was coming out of him was as thick as blood. There are many of us now, if you like, pray nothing tomorrow. That problem will not go because it's part of God's plan.
Open it.
I hear people say, Pastor, I have prayed. People say prayer answered everything. God said in Matthew 7:7, ask and it shall be given. Why is it that God have not given me what I ask? In John chapter 14, in 13 and verse 14, he said, whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do. Why is it that God have not done it? I believe a prayer that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, in verse 17, he said, pray without ceasing. Pastor, is prayer no longer the key? According to Luke chapter 18 verse 1, that men ought always to pray and not offend. Why is my condition still like this? Where is the God that answers Zechariah? According to Luke chapter 1 in verse 13, he said, Zechariah, fear not, for your prayer has been answered. Why he never answer my own? And that is what some of us are going through now. I have been asking God for a child. Why? I have been asking for a visa. Why? I have been praying for a husband. Why? I have been praying for a wife. Why? I have been praying for financial breakthrough. Why? He has not answered me. Why? How many of us have ever asked that question? Can I see your hand? Wave it to Jesus. Wave it where? Wave it where? If you wave it where, it will answer you this morning. Why? 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 The Son of God. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many of us God have answered you before?
Yes, sir.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware that God has answered Jesus before?
Yes, sir.
In John chapter 11, a dead man came back. Lazarus.
Yes, sir.
He answered him. The woman of the issue of blood only touched.
Yes, sir.
Multiplication of bread was there.
Yes, sir.
See, wait till some of us know they think. Wait till you think say you fair do where they answer you. Why be say now you no God do now? Why not they answer you now? That time he answer you, not be pray you pray.
Yes, sir.
This one where no answer now. Wait till you they do also. When you discover say the one where you pray, even the one where you no pray, he answer. This one where you don't call pray, you won't die. He no answer. Just know it may be God's will in your life. There's nothing prayer can change.
No.
Jesus tried to change it. You know the pattern of prayer that Jesus used? The first prayer that he used, It's a collective prayer. It carry Peter, James, and John. In case you know hear me, go hear Peter.
Yes, sir.
Some of you who join prayer band, not be say you like prayer. You just want to make it join you.
Pray.
Make una pray.
I hear you, sir. The doctor. I don't know.
He carry Peter, John, and James. Collective prayer. Can I shock you? All those who are disappointed in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They were sleepy instead of it to pray. Because God gave them sleep to sleep. He didn't allow them to pray. Some people don't know. Assuming you know Bible, it gets something so you just relax yourself.
I hear you, sir.
The one when God answered you before, not be only you pray.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes even the prayer was not up to 30 minutes. This one now you don't do it for 1 year, you never see answer. He travel. It is his will.
Yes, sir.
Follow me. The next thing, when they all slept off, he engaged himself in the individualistic prayer. Did he change it?
No.
Did he change it?
No.
Please, let's preach together. Did he change it?
No, sir.
He entered violent prayer for somebody to sweat. And the sweat was as thick as blood. It was not a gentle prayer. You know, some people will say you didn't pray well. Shout. How many of us, you don't pray violent prayer in the night? And when you sleep, the same dream when you know like, now that day it could come, where? You come here and say, now even the prayer bringer. Can I see your hand?
Yes,
okay. Now, how many of us are seated here that there is a problem in the family? You set that time, you go to mountain. As you are coming down, now bad news will welcome you. You go play and say, even the prayer no work. Jesus finished praying. God no change mind. The will of God for your life. If you like, climb mountain. You must drink the cup. He didn't say, may drink the water. He said, if it is a mother that must drink cup. You don't ever see somebody who drink cup. Oh, can you give me that place now? He didn't say, I must drink the water.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
The cup.
What did he say we drink?
The cup.
Do you drink up?
No.
I mean, never don't drink up.
No.
Meaning all your cup for don't finish.
Yes, sir.
He said, if it is your will that this cup should not pass, let me drink it. Problems are hard to swallow. That's why Jesus used cup to explain them. If problems are like water, they are no longer problem. You can easily swallow them. But they are like cup, very hard. You cannot swallow. They are hard. Now, prayer. How many of us know that Abraham was a God's friend?
Yes, sir.
Wave your hands, wave your hands.
Yes, sir.
Was he barren?
Yes, sir.
Did he pray?
Yes, sir.
Was he barren?
Yes, sir.
Even God even appeared to him. He saw God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did the problem continue?
Yes, sir.
Why? Somebody shout, the will of God.
The will of God.
Talk to me now.
The will of God.
The greatest prayer you can ever pray is not a prayer of violence. It's simple. Let your will be done. Somebody shout it. Let me hear.
Let your will be done.
If you shout it, God's will be done in your matter today.
Let your will be done.
Shout it again.
Let your will be done.
I'm going to say a few things. And I want you to respond. There's going to be miracle for 16 people.
Amen.
What is your response? Let your will be done. Why are you not married?
Let your will be done.
Why are you still poor?
Let your will be done.
Why are you jobless?
Let your will be done.
Why has God not answered your prayer?
Let your will be done.
Why is it that you are not conceived?
Let your will be done.
Why are you sick in your body?
Let your will be done.
That is the answer. When people ask you questions, Upon the church where you they go. You never marry. Let the will of God be done. You have been married for 10 years, no child. Let the will of God be done. Are you not tired of going to hospital? Let the will of God be done. It's the greatest prayer a man can pray. The will of God. The will of God is not fair. Write it down. The will of God is not fair to human. The will of God look not fair. I think that's a better word. It look not fair to humanity. The will of God look not fair to immortal man. The will of God look not fair with a man of flesh. How will you say Jesus should die? Why? The body don't want to die. Flesh don't want to die. It's not fair to the flesh. But the will say, die. How can you say Abraham is your friend? A friend should enjoy what you have. Almighty God, you have children in heaven. And yet you have not given me one. And you say that is my will for you? It's not fair. How will you say I am your daughter? I am faithful to you. Yet no suitor is coming. And people are laughing at me. I say that is my will for you? It's not fair. The will of God is not fair to humanity. But the will of God is perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes,
it may not be fair, but it's perfect. Somebody shout, the will of God is perfect.
The will of God is perfect.
The will of God. It makes everything beautiful in its own time. I can see Anna say, God, where are my children? I am the first woman to marry this man. What have I done to go through barrenness? And God said, my will is for you to wait. It's for you to wait. Penina have one. You say I should still wait. He had two. You say I should still wait. He had three. You say I should still wait. He had four. You say I should still wait. He had five. You say I should still wait. He has six. You say I should still wait. She has seven. You say I should still wait. She had eight. You say I should still wait. She had nine. You say I should still wait. She had 10. God, you are still telling me to wait. The woman where they marry come meet me for house don't bought 10.
Not fair.
The will of God is not fair.
It's not fair.
But it's perfect.
No.
Among the 10, we didn't hear the name of anyone. But we heard the name of Samuel.
Ayana.
It's not fair, but it's perfect.
Yes, sir. I know.
It's perfect.
Yes, sir.
Abraham was barren for 25 years. That is no longer a news. But look at it. In these 25 years, Abraham bought servants. Those that you buy servants with his money, brought them to the house. They married each other and they were giving birth.
I hear you, sir.
They gave birth until all of them were 318
Yes, sir.
in his house. And the man went by them, no fee born.
Anna.
And God said, that is my will.
Not fair.
The will of God. Ask her. God conceived. And madam, no get belly. But the will of God is perfect.
Yes, sir.
All these servants, we didn't hear their name. It was Isaac we heard.
Yes, sir.
Don't go for Ishmael. Wait for his will.
Abu, talk to me.
God didn't promise us Ishmael. He promised us Isaac.
Yes, sir.
But the coming of Isaac is not really fair to human. It's very difficult to wait for it. It's not fair. Isaac is not fair. Somebody shout, the will of God is not fair.
The will of God is not fair.
But it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Somebody say it's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. There are many of us sitting down now. Pastor, people are laughing at me. They say, if I know, if you they go church, why your life never change? Somebody say, let his will be done.
Let his will be done.
Let his will be done. How can God take my husband? I'm now a widow. And you say, Pastor, that is the will of God for me? It's not fair, but it is perfect. It's not fair, but it is perfect. Jesus, you must die. Jesus said, I don't want to die again. He said, you must die. If he did not die, where all of us would be today? Because it was the death and resurrection of Jesus that brought salvation to all of us. Jesus was no longer seeing us. He was looking at the death. It was not fair to the body, but it was perfect to the future. Where would have been Philippians chapter 2 verse 9 and 10? Wherefore, God have highly exalted him at the name of Jesus, and giving him a name, and they mention the name of Jesus, every knee should bow. Wait till we're supposed to use bad demon today if he refused to die. It's not fair, but it is perfect. Young lady, your waiting time is not your wasted time. No beautiful married, they marry the right person.
Yes, sir.
But now who marry the will of God, now they marry the right person.
Talk to me.
Will of God is not a competition. When you want to compete, you cannot wait for God's will. Because it doesn't come at the time you want it. How many times that, wait, look up here. How many times you don't pray, say, Lord, just do this thing. Make people know, say, I deserve you. And yet, it no work. Let me see your hand. How many of us don't do like that? Say, God, just do to show people, say, I be your pikin. It work?
No.
It's not for competition. Will of God is not competition. My mates don't marry. I never marry. I must marry. That is not God's will. That is your will. As a matter of fact, God doesn't know who you are competing with. Now you know. All is following. Before you were born, there is a plan.
Yes, sir.
Before you were born, there is a plan. You know what you call delay now? When you lack the knowledge of God's way, men call it delay.
Yes, sir.
Because you didn't know the time he actually told you that you will have your first child. So why are you not calling it delay? Because your first child is coming when you were 40 years of age as a woman. You say, if I don't go through delay, by now for don't born plenty, you not go through delay. Now plan of God, now you walk, enter.
Open it.
What we call delay is lacking the knowledge of God's plan for your life. As you are sitting down now, when you to build the next house, God knows. When to travel out of this country, God knows. His will know.
Yes, sir.
When to have favor, God knows. Anyone here that believe in prayer, open your hand. The first thing I tell you, the will of God cannot change. I mean, prayer cannot change the will of God. Open your hand, let me pray for you.
No.
This is my prayer. May God give you patience to wait for his will. Oh, everybody stand up, open your hand. May God give you patience to wait for his will. Take your seat now. What is the next thing now that the will of God does? I mean, that cannot change the will of God. I think I have there 5 media. Now, prophecy cannot change it. Prophecy cannot change it. 2 Kings chapter 2, for verse 1, you take it downward. Matthew chapter 26, verse 21. Just give me Matthew 26, verse 21. Matthew 26, verse 21. Matthew 26, verse 21. Give it to me. Matthew 26, verse 21. He said, as they did it, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray. Was it prophecy, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Jesus saw it, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Did he change it? There are many things you don't see for dream. You pray and bind, you see apple. And you diverse. How many of us don't see something?
Yes, sir.
Maybe they show you a prophecy. And at the end, it is see apple. Or after all your prayer, you go see apple. Let me see your hand. You call you discouraged. You say, but I pray now. If it's God's will, prophecy cannot change it. Your seeing it doesn't mean it can change it. Look at it. In 2 Kings chapter 2, The source of the prophet saw that Elijah was to be taken away.
Yes, sir.
Even the Elijah saw it, that God want to take him away. Did he change it?
No.
Oh God, did he change it?
No, sir.
Did he change it?
No, sir.
He prepared for it, that's all. You know, some of us, there are bad dream you had. You say, shall not stand, neither shall it come to pass. You do this day fasting. You say, oh my God, you sow seed, you sow tree. And as they come out for the tree you sow, it just happened the next day morning. You say, wait, can you hear this? If I say prayer, not they work again, I'll be waiting. Prayer, they work. If it is God's will, there is nothing that your prophecy can do about it.
Yes, sir.
I can walk to you as a young lady. I see twins. The Lord will give it to you in a hurry.
Amen.
It's just to tell you, say, relax. If they come, it no come missing at this year. You know, some of us, when 1 month don't pass, 1 year don't pass, the next thing, even that day, in our 30 days or night, he called me out. I say, it's so twist, but till now, it has not come to. Wait till I do God. Did I tell you, say now? I saw it. Whether in 30 years' time I saw it, did you know? I see. I see.
You saw it. No.
Jesus saw Judas say, now he will betray.
Yes, sir.
He saw the prophecy. But at the end of it, he know he avatar. He no changer. He no changer. Some of us, you even see in the dream, say, bless, say you sick, they can carry you go hospital. When you came out, it shall not stand. I refuse to be sick. After 1 week, now I turn you fear. You call it, say, bless, say prayer, know they work. If they work, if it's God's will, you cannot change it. You must understand when enemies are attacking and when God's will is playing out.
Yes, sir.
Everybody now, enemy. Don't forget, the will of God is not fair. It doesn't come like a bed of rosely. I will show you. Some of us are even backslide. You know they pray again. All the other night you have go, it doesn't work. Who told you that it did not work? I'll be asking God now. I'll be asking God. Even when Apostle Suleiman came here, 2018. Now me test that prophecy. But till now, it never worked. God's will. Wait for her. Am I talking to somebody here? I have seen prophecy for myself. I pray, it shall not stand. It still come to pass. I say, God, why? He says, my will for you. Papa's told us one of our meeting. He said there's going to be false allegation against me many years ago. He said, I have been praying, but the Lord said nothing you can do. It will announce you to your word. It's my will for you. He said, but how will I bear it? It's what I'm asking God, give me the grace. Before those magic came up, he said so in our meeting. He said, God said, I will use it to announce you. He has prayed, he has sowed seed, he sowed tree. God said, nothing you can do. Bam! The thing came. It is his will. It is his way. There's nothing you can do about it. The Bible, a story of Apostle Babalola, the last daughter was giving us a story of him. How he went for crusade. As he was coming back, one of the children died. One of the crusade he went and resurrected 3 people. 3 people came back to life dead. But he all died. There was no resurrection. The will of God is not fair, but it's perfect. I can hear somebody say, God, don't use me again. You use me for people, you don't use me for my own. I don't want you to be using me. You don't use me again. The will of God is not fair, but it is perfect. Will of God doesn't check today, it check your tomorrow. The will of God do not check your today, it checks your tomorrow. So prayer cannot change it. The second one, prophecy cannot change it. The third one, give me the third one. Because you know some of us now you have been in the midst of confusion. Your charity cannot change it. Your giving. So if I hear some people talking sometimes, they say, Daddy, I have emptied my account. Charity. You know, 1 Corinthians chapter 13 was talking about charity. And can I tell you too? Let me shock you what Jesus did. In Matthew 26, verse 44. Look at what Jesus did. Mona, watch. Oh. Everybody watch. Everybody watch. Look at your screen. Look here. I am your screen. Look here. When they came to arrest Jesus, Peter brought out a sword and removed somebody's ear called Marcus. And Jesus said, no, don't remove the ear. And he went and touched the ear, and the ear grew back. Is that good or bad? Has he done good or he has done bad?
Yes, sir.
I think that is enough for the people to leave him alone.
Yes, sir.
Number one, he said he not support his follower. And number two, even the one where they eat joy, don't heal her. And even the miracle of healing supposed to make them say, leave him alone.
Yes,
who go hate you no matter what you do.
I hear you, sir. That's the doctor. No.
You know some of us now you are pretending to be good so that they can change their mind. They can never change their mind. Who don't hate you, don't hate you.
Professor. Talk to me. Abali.
Wait, how can you say, come and arrest a man? In your very presence, the man proved to you that he's not your enemy. He stopped his disciples. The ear they caught, he performed a miracle that would have made everybody say, Jesus, oh yeah? Ear grew up. We saw it all, that the ear fell down. He no carry the one way they down. He just put hand. This man must be wonderful. You know, they still cough and they carry come out. If you like, give your life to those who hate you. They will hate you the more. Stop injuring yourself to please them. There are people God has just made them to hate you. It's his will for your life. There's nothing you can do. That's why you should be yourself. Don't please anybody. Please your conscience and please God. That's all. If not me they're saying, go breed this man. And I reach there. He hear where they cut, where blood they come outside. He touch her, he hear grow. He tell the disciples, say, keep sword. I said, this man is a good man. No? Abi?
Yes, sir.
Even the miracle will surprise you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They see a coffin. A carry go. There are people, if you like, empty your bank account. They will see first, say, no be only that bank you they operate. You get another bank where you they operate, where you never bring come. You get people, even though you give them your wife, they will tell you, say you don't command the edgy block before you give them. I'm telling you the truth. They will tell you when she was young, you give me. Now I don't bought two, now you call they give me. You will not see please them. Carry your car and give them. You will say, why you not buy for a put? Come out for your bed. Make the climb. You go say, because you know say the bed, it they press, it they make waste papers and I make you come out. There are people you will never please. Stop impressing people. Did Jesus have any meal?
Yes, sir.
Eh?
No.
Did you see that he had enemy?
No.
Was he a bad man? No. You don't need to be bad to have enemies. It's even your good that make you have much enemies. How to know that you are very good is to have plenty enemies. It's like I'm not preaching today. to know you are very good is to have a very good enemies.
Yes, sir.
As good as Jesus was, he still had plenty enemies. Plenty one.